Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to my honourable friend and member for the Isle of Wight for securing today's debate. He has already highlighted many of the points that I intend to raise. Like him, I'm keen to work with the Minister to ensure that we have a solution that works for local communities. Planning is broken in North Devon. We could illustrate why we need reform quite dramatically. We have a local plan, yet our local community don't believe in the local plan, and our local council vote against developments in the local plan, even those on brownfield sites. We've exceeded the number of houses that are built in a community, yet we have nowhere for local people to live. So for over 4 years, we've built more than we're required, yet we still don't have places that local people can live in. We have a conservation office and a planning department that means that most developments can take up to a decade to actually emerge the other side from the planning department. We've always been a community that welcomes tourists and welcomes second homeowners, but unfortunately that dynamic has just slightly tilted in the wrong direction. New builds are now just snapped up as second homes or holiday lets, sometimes by locals because you can make so much money. Why would you rent out a property for a few £100s a month when you can make several thousand a week at the present time up here in North Devon? Post-pandemic, North Devon is one of the top 10 places in the country to move to, and I agree it's a fantastic place to live. However, we have, just like the previous speaker has spoken about, we need people to move here so that they can get jobs and that they can stay here and their families can build communities here. Because building homes is not about houses, it's about communities. It's not about a winter ghost town. Croyd, which boasts one of the best surf beaches in the country, is currently 64% second home owned. Where I live, the village I'm speaking from this afternoon during the pandemic, I was one of just 6 houses occupied out of the 30 on my close. We also have derelict homes as well as second homes and Airbnbs. And we really do need the council to have more teeth to enable new developments to not go additional second homes, additional Airbnbs, but to have covenants in place to ensure that local communities can actually build more family homes here in North Devon. We need them to be affordable so people can live here. That developing in North Devon is difficult, we're remote, we're rural, we don't have a big workforce, and it's hard to get materials up here. Overlay that with the time it gets to get things out of planning, and actually it's quite a hostile environment towards developers, not to mention the opposition from many locals who've seen we don't need additional homes, we need the ones we use to have here to be available to local people. We have developers with death threats here in North Devon, and we really do need some interventions coming through this to enable communities to reform. The market is broken. In this village where I am this afternoon, a 2-bedroom apartment in need of renovation is currently on the market at £750,000 with a communal garden. Something isn't working here in North Devon. And so the final point within this I'd like to make is that we need to actually find a way and ensure that councils can actually raise revenue when people wish to convert a property into a holiday let, and that there are more protections in the market so that we don't have the private rental sector is now non-existent here in North Devon. We need to find a way to ensure that there are more privately rented properties as well as those that are affordable for local families to buy. There's no point coming on holiday to North Devon if we have nobody working in our bars and restaurants and able to actually service you when you get here. Communities should not be full of empty houses half of the year. They should be full of family homes.